Turtle Boy in the yellow has been covering this case from day one on his YouTube channel, Turtle Boy Live. And here's what he shot today outside of the courthouse.
This is the crowd out here today. How's everybody feeling? Good? Yeah. 2 more hours. We can get a verdict today. We need a verdict today. How's everybody doing? Good. Awesome. Man, look at this crowd, man. Look at this crowd, dude. Hello, hello. What's going on, everybody? Not guilty, right? Yes.
We're going to have to wait to find out if it's not guilty. We're going to have to wait a little longer to find out if it's actually not guilty, because despite deliberating all day today, no verdict. No verdict announced. And so the jury's going to have to just pick up and continue where they left off today. That will happen tomorrow. But I had the chance to speak with Aidan Turtle Boy Kearney about the trial, about the circus, and about a likely verdict this time around. Here's our conversation. So Aidan, no verdict today. Is this a surprise?
You know, I went into the day thinking it was like 50-50 that we might get a verdict. So no, it's not surprising with a murder case like this that took 31 days, death of a Boston police officer. It's not really surprising that they'd take their time. I don't think anyone's shocked by it. Disappointed, certainly. You know, we waited out there all day. There was a couple thousand people out there all day just waiting for that verdict that never came. So it was a little anticlimactic, but I think tomorrow is going to be the day.
And I guess the natural question would be, you said it, couple thousand people waiting. What is it that has people putting their lives aside and gathering at the courthouse and waiting for that verdict?
Well, Karen Reed could be any one of us. That's why. I mean, it's just so transparently outrageous. Like, if you watch the trial, I mean, how many doctors do you need to testify that John O'Keefe wasn't hit by a car before you realize that John O'Keefe wasn't hit by a car? And if John O'Keefe wasn't hit by a car, that means someone inside Brian Albert's house killed him, and they know that, and they're intentionally covering this up. I mean, if that doesn't get you to come out and protest, if that's not enough to get you off the couch and get you down to Dedham to stand outside the courthouse and make your voices heard, then what will? Well, it's funny because there was a media randomizer this time around because so many media entities wanted to get into the courtroom. So they would do a randomizer every week to see who would get in. And I lost the randomizer. It didn't seem very random at all. Like, I think 6 weeks in a row. John DePietro actually won 4 or 5 weeks in a row. So I saw the jury about half the trial towards the end, but I did see them during the ARCA witnesses and during Dr. LaPosada's testimony, and they seemed like much more kind of glued to and interested in the things that Alan Jackson and the defense were saying, as opposed to Hank Brennan, who, you know, it was an alert jury. They took notes throughout the entire process. I'll give them that. 18 people, not one of them dropped, which was pretty impressive in and of itself. I mean, that's why they have alternates in case people drop. Not one of them dropped. Nobody fell asleep. Last trial, a couple people fell asleep a couple times because some of this testimony is a little bit boring, especially like when it comes to like putting pieces of taillight together and glass on the bottom. It's just a lot of it gets redundant. But this jury was really alert, but they did seem more kind of drawn to the defense's case, not quite as much as last time. They weren't as visible. Like last time, there was a couple women who were making faces of horror last time when Micah Proctor read his text messages out loud, you know, and some of the things that Brian Albert said and Jennifer McCabe said, they just kind of rolled their eyes and they laughed. Several laughed at Trooper Paul. We didn't have any of those people this time around, except for Jennifer McCabe. So there wasn't as funny. This trial wasn't as funny. Like last trial was kind of funny. Some of the things that were said, it was just so ridiculous. When Trooper Paul said that he did a pirouette in midair and the cell phone got underneath him because, quote, it did. We didn't have any moments like that. They had actual doctors this time around. Judson Welcher, who was equally as ridiculous, but he has an actual PhD. So this was a little bit more serious of a trial. It was more focused on the science and the physics and less focused on the conspiracy angle.
I got 5 seconds left, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask you on the over-under. Are we going to get a verdict? And if you think it might be a guilty and not guilty or no verdict at all?
I don't think there's any chance in hell you're going to have a guilty verdict. I think that at this point, I think you're going to have a 75% chance tomorrow of an acquittal. I think it could go another day after that. I think we're at a 10% hung jury now. That's what I would put it at, 10%.
Okay, you have to come back. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
I'd be happy to. Thanks for having me, Ashleigh.
Cheers.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.